Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Back to Live podcast version. So this time, as title shows, I think drinking party while lockdown or drinking party during lockdown is alright. So because to start with, to start with, drinking party itself is alright, but it's a time of lockdown, which is why Prime Minister Boris Johnson is bad for having drinking party or some kind of party while while lock, while in the time of lockdown. So, but I think it's alright because it's not alright. So what I'd like to tell you is that pe- people people blame Boris Johnson, but it's too much, which is what I thought. So just and to start with, in the perspective of my country, or in my perspective, lockdown itself is really amazing because there had been any lockdown in my country. So which is because we could behave we could behave and we could behave with with a lot of consideration, or we can spend time, or we can behave and we can act with being careful of not to infect others. I'm sorry for my bad proficiency of English language. So what I'd like to tell you is that we have been continuously careful. We have we have been continuously careful when the pandemic of coronavirus has has been has existed, and the, the pandemic has still lasted for now, or in this present time. So I'm recording this on on February in 2022, but the pandemic has still existed. But so drinking party, not drinking party, having drinking party while lockdown, or having drinking party during the time of lockdown is might be bad, but some people would have done such a things. So to to start with, if you are thinking of blaming Boris Johnson or Prime Minister Boris Johnson, for example, so I think it's necessary, or I recommend that you think about why lockdowns have been done in your country. So which is what I think you should think to start with, because as I told you minutes before, you know enacting or execute being executed might be correct grammatical expression. So the fact that lockdowns are executed is really surprising in my perspective, or in the perspective of a person in this country, because lock, not enacting lockdown, so executing lockdown mean, executing lockdowns mean people that country require lockdowns to control people. So what the ideal stuff is ideal stuff is to prevent the proliferation of coronavirus without lockdowns, which is what you which is what I which is what is important, or which is what you think about before blaming Boris Johnson for having drinking party, or having some kind of party, or having sexual party. Any party is fine if Mr. Boris Johnson has done, or has done years or hundreds of years before. Maybe he hadn't lived for hundreds of years. Anyway, so what I'd like what I'd like you to know this time is that if you if you're thinking of blaming, or if you feel like blaming Prime Minister Boris Johnson, so I recommend I recommend your thinking about your own behaviors, whether whether your behaviors from the beginning of the pandemic to this present time had been correct or not, in terms of disinfection or in terms of the prevention of infections of coronavirus, which is what I'd like, which is what I would like you to think, which is what I want you to think about. So in my case, or in the case of this country, people have been careful in in their own behaviors, or people have been careful of their behaviors when they go to, for example, when they go to schools, or when people in this country go to workplaces, or when they come back to their own families. They have sanitized, or they have cleaned up their own hands and their own clothes. Of course, there are some people who had parties, or who had some kind of some kind of parties, whatever you call. So anyway, such parties had caused clusters, or such parties, or such drinking parties caused many problems even in my country. That is true, but as a result, or as a whole of this country, we this country didn't require any lockdown, which is because people have been careful of infections, or people have been careful of their behaviors, and they have they have striven to prevent themselves from spreading or infecting other people with coronavirus, which is why this country didn't require any lockdown. Of course, this country have done many measures for blocking or preventing the spread of coronavirus, but this country didn't require this country didn't require any lockdowns, or any shutdown, or any measures requiring some punishments, or regulation, strict regulations. This country didn't need such kind of strong measures. By the Without doing such strong measures, or without doing lockdowns, this country could successfully reduce or lower the number of the patients of coronavirus. The number of the patients. Also, also of course, also there is a surge of the patients of coronavirus in this present time, but there was but before the surge of the patients of coronavirus, this country could successfully subdue or reduce the number of the patients of coronavirus, which is why, which is a result of, for example, the custom of this country, or the tradition of this country. Of course, there are many fallouts in the cultures of this country, but before I think if you're British people, also, you may be American people. It's fine if you are American people. It's fine if you are French people, or it's fine if you are German people. But if you'd like to blame so much for if you'd like to blame Prime Minister Boris Johnson for just having drinking party while in the time of lockdown, or during the time of lockdown, so I I recommend that you review your own actions, or your own behaviors from the beginning of the pandemic to this time, or to this present time, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.